What is going on, guys? It's your boy Dylan the Villain, and we're coming back at you with some Total Extreme Wrestling 2020. It is week 4. We are less than 6 days away from the Fully Loaded pay-per-view. Tonight, we will find out who will move on to main event against Bret the Hitman Hart for the World Wrestling Federation World Heavyweight Championship. We will find out tonight. But first, we got to get through this pre-show. In a pre-show match that had terrible wrestling, non-existent crowd heat, APA defeated the Pitbulls when Bradshaw submitted Pitbull number 1, Farouk. Doing that work, man. 77, Bradshaw 45, Pitbull number 2, 51, Pitbull number 1, 47. The match got a 65. That could have been on the main show. And both teams have the tag team specialist bonus. Farouk looked really good. Color commentary and announcing gave the match a boost. And Pitbull number 1, I believe it is this guy, is getting better at his gimmick. We're going to move on to the next pre-show match. And it is your boy Christian picking up a win against Al Snow. Al Snow seemed off his game. Al Snow with a 58 and Christian with a 56. Al Snow's kind of popular. Another pre-show match that could have been on the main card. Got a 63. Not bad at all. We move on to the next segment. And it is our hype promos. It's Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross. And they're talking about what we're going to see tonight in our main event. As we found out from Shotgun Saturday Night, it is going to be Chris Jericho, who beat Stone Cold Steve Austin in that amazing steel cage match. Y'all go back and watch that episode on Monday Night Raw, last week on Monday Night Raw. And The Rock pretty much beating the other number 1 contender, Kurt Angle. But Stephanie McMahon made a bet with her dad saying that The Rock was going to win. And if The Rock doesn't win, then Vince McMahon was going to make his life a living hell. The Rock picked up the victory. No, if The Rock lost, then he couldn't see Stephanie anymore. The Rock picked up the win, fair and square, 1, 2, 3, beat Kurt Angle. So tonight we will see, once again, Chris Jericho versus The Rock. Every single time these two men go against each other, The Rock somehow, some way picks up the victory here tonight. Is this foreshadowing of who's going to win the main event? Jericho just cannot seem to get The Rock's number. The Rock always comes out on top when it's Jericho and The Rock. Is this foreshadowing of what's going to happen in tonight's main event? Or will Chris Jericho finally, after beating Stone Cold Steve Austin, have the momentum to move forward as the number 1 contender for the World Wrestling Federation Championship? We will find out tonight. Also tonight, we are going to have a huge contract signing. A no-held liable contract signing. Basically, these two men are going to sign a contract basically saying that they cannot sue the other man in the World Wrestling Federation for what they do to each other. Triple H is the one who wanted this contract signing. Because he said he does not want to be held liable for what he does to Shawn Michaels. As we know, he turned his back on his best friend Shawn Michaels and cost Shawn Michaels the World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Championship win over Bret Hart at King of the Ring. Go back and watch that episode, guys. That was one hell of a pay-per-view. That is our first 100 rating pay-per-view that we did. And also tonight, in our co-main event, we will see Owen Hart and Kurt Angle take on Bret the Hitman Hart and Davey Boy Smith. This match came about from Shotgun Saturday Night, as we seen Kurt Angle and take on Bret the Hitman Hart. And then after the match, Bret and Owen then got into it. They had to be separated from Davey. Owen requested this match as his tag team partner of Kurt Angle, and Bret will be teaming up with Davey Boy Smith, as we know that the two Hart brothers have not been seeing eye to eye, not been getting along here, not sharing that family bond. Bret being the superior brother as the World Wrestling Federation champion, World Heavyweight champion, and Owen just, every time he gets to the big show, he ends up just not capturing the prize, always coming up short, as I guess you could say. This opening segment got a 100. We will also see some more stuff here tonight, but that is pretty much the main things of the card. A huge main event of Jericho versus Rock, and a co-main event of Owen Hart and Kurt Angle taking on Bret the Hitman Hart and Davey Boy Smith. We will go on to the opening contest of tonight. But Scott Steiner comes out to the ring. It was supposed to be a contest of Ultimo Dragon and Scott Steiner, but Scott Steiner, they both come to the ring. Scott Steiner grabs the mic and he goes, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, huh? You want to make me wrestle this jabroni, the Ultimo's Dragons? Of course, he can beat my brother Rick, but Lord knows he can't beat me because I'm a genetic freak. I beat Rick 1, 2, 3. I made him cry and send him back at home, his bags where he belongs. And if this masked luchador Japanese guy, whatever he wants to call himself, Kaijin, I don't know. I don't speak all that kung fu talk. But I'll tell you, if he thinks he can beat me, he got another thing coming, because I'm the big bad booty daddy. I'm a genetic freak. And after I make him lay on his back, holler in pain, I'm going to go find me some Asian girls and show them what a real man looks like. And make them scream Big Daddy Papa Pump's name. So little man, I'm going to beat your ass. Don't take it personal, it's just business." And Scott Steiner throws down the mic. It got an 82. Scott Steiner did awesome promo work. And we go on to the match. In a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Ultimo Dragon picks up a big surprise win over Scott Steiner in 13:09 by submission with a Dragon Sleeper. Ultimo Dragon picking up a huge freaking win here tonight, beating Scott Steiner. This is definitely going to help Ultimo Dragon move up the card by beating somebody like Scott Steiner. And he tapped him out too. Scott Steiner tapped out. We didn't go to commercial and we come back. We then cut. We don't go to commercial. We then cut backstage, and it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he pulls up in his pickup truck. And as soon as he pulls into the arena, it's Vince McMahon and the goons, his goons of Gerald Briscoe, Pat Patterson, and Sergeant Slaughter, along with Shane McMahon. And as we know that these three men, they hold a chair on the board along with Vince. And Steve Austin's looking confused. He's like, "Well, what the hell is this all about?" And Vince, he's like, "Well, Steve, myself and the board of directors here, feel that you have a lot of built-up animosity towards Chris Jericho, and we feel we do not want you to jeopardize tonight's main event and helping a certain superstar pick up the win because you have anger built up towards Chris Jericho. We don't want you to help The Rock win by helping Chris Jericho. As we know, The Rock is seeing Stephanie McMahon, and Vince McMahon doesn't really like that. So he believes that Jericho is going to pick up the win here tonight. And there's probably some plans to have Jericho win tonight. Steve Austin goes, "This is ridiculous," Like, he pretty much is like, I wasn't going to interfere in the match. But now that you say, now that you're coming up to me, it kind of makes me want to. And Vince is like, "Well, that's why we met you here tonight. We are going to escort you out of the arena. You will not be allowed back into the arena under any circumstances. You will not be allowed in the arena. You pretty much have the night off, and we don't want you to. We don't want you here. We don't want you interfering in the main event." Stone Cold's kind of like, and what if I don't leave? And then some police officers show up, and he's just like, Vince is like, oh, I think you're gonna leave. And Stone Cold, he kind of stands there, and then he flips Vince off, and he gets back in his pickup truck, and he backs out and leaves. So Stone Cold is banned from the arena here tonight. We will not see Stone Cold Steve Austin here tonight, as Vince and the Goons pretty much took it upon themselves to ban Stone Cold Steve Austin from the arena. The segment got a 100. We move on to the next segment, and it is about that. Heck, good wrestling, not bad. Jeff Jarrett, JEFFARRETT, Jeff Jarrett, defeated Ahmed Johnson in 8-11 by pinfall. The match got a 70. They have great chemistry, and it showed in their performance. That is good. We see some woman, as you can see her name, has debuted her succubus manager gimmick, and it got great. Jeff Jarrett with an 83 and Ahmed with a 77. Not bad. Jeff Jarrett building up his popularity. He picked up some huge wins here lately, and and Jeff Jarrett and Deborah have good chemistry together. After the match, Michael Cole. I've clicked next segment. Hopefully it didn't freeze and skip. Okay. Oh, damn. So we have Jarrett. It's supposed to be Jeff Jarrett. This is gonna hurt our show really bad. I should have double checked and made sure. I'm going to change Jeff Jarrett's name to Double J, so he's in the D's now. But Jeff Jarrett, not Jerry Jarrett, but Jeff Jarrett is with this blonde-headed woman here, and Michael Cole stops him and he goes, well, who's this? And he's just like, well, let me tell you, this right here is my insurance policy to get me to the top. You see, she was working in the other federation down there, down south, and she had to get away from all that because of the toxic atmosphere there. So she decided to come here and manage me. I talked her into coming and managing me to be my personal manager. And she said that she guarantees me that I'm going to go to the top. She managed a lot of people, and I've looked at the list, and every single person she's managed has become a big success. So I can't wait for her to take me and manage my career and bring me to the top here in the World Wrestling Federation. Segment got a 14 because Jerry Jarrett. Oh my God, I should have definitely double checked. We are going to move on to the next segment. Oh, that's good stuff. In a good match, Vader defeats Road Warrior Animal by submission. Wow-wee. Vader with an 87 and Road Warrior Animal with a 65. The match got a 63. The match suffered from lack of selling on display, probably by both men, and announcing quality gave the match a boost. So Vader, as we know, Sid and Vader will be taking on the Road Warriors at Fully Loaded pay-per-view for the tag team titles, and Vader picks up a win over Animal. On Shotgun Saturday night, we will see Sid versus Hawk, and Vader picks up the win, moving on to the pay-per-view. We're giving their team a little bit of momentum. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. And it is a promo of Raven. And as we've seen on Shotgun Saturday night, they attacked the Big Show after the Big Show's hardcore title defense. Raven picked up the title, shaked his head at it, and threw it down back at the Big Show. Tossed it at Big Show. And they just left. And we have I have no clue what they're calling themselves. I take it that they're calling themselves the Flock or Raven's Nest or Murder or whatever they're wanting to call themselves. We have not got a name for them yet, but it's Raven, Mankind, and the Hardys. And they're standing there, and Raven cuts a promo, and he says, I've been talking a lot about how I've came to the World Wrestling Federation from the land of extreme, hoping to get away from the senseless violence, the blood, the gore, and come to a federation that's well respected, well, with a high prestige level. And what do I come to? I put an end to Terry Funk and his hardcore, and I took the crown and placed it back on my head, and I took Cactus Jack and I convinced him that hardcore wrestling was nothing more than idiotic and barbaric. And look where he's at now. He's next to me, right by my side, accepting me as the light, as his savior, to save him from this senseless mayhem and gore. And then I come to a company like the World Wrestling Federation, and I take back my crown and I place it upon my head as the rightful king of hardcore, so I can put an end to all this senseless violence and mayhem and destruction and gore. And what does the World Wrestling Federation do? They make a title promoting that kind of barbaric stuff, promoting unprotected chair shots to the head, people getting slammed through tables, people getting power bombed on cars, people getting busted open and bleeding like pigs and having to get staples in their head. And they give them a championship as a reward. A championship that they want to copy and try to be extreme and try to bring this newfound attitude to their promotion, that they're edgy, that they're one of a kind. And so they make this title and they give it to some guy that we don't even know. And then he loses it. Now it gets put on this giant of a man. As I watch him destroy people left and right, picking people up by the neck and choke slamming them through tables, sending them to the hospital with broken bones and shattered spleens. Is this the kind of man that you want as a champion here in the World Wrestling Federation? I'm not talking to Vince McMahon. I'm talking to the sponsors, the USA Network. Do you honestly think that this is good for your television? Hardcore wrestling? I came from a company that the whole concept was being as bloody and gory as possible. And look where they're at. They can't even get a TV deal on local television because they're too violent. They're too hardcore. They're a shell of themselves now, because without me, they're nothing. But I'm asking you, do you honestly want a 7-foot tall monster, a giant, to be grabbing people around and slinging them around, busting them open, hitting them with pipes and chairs, slamming them through tables, choke slamming them through the ring? Is that a good message to send to the children? The same children like Matt and Jeff behind me? The same children who grew up watching this product? Watching men to the right of me like Mick Foley? Or Jimmy Snuka jump off a cage? Or Roddy Piper hitting somebody over the head with a coconut? Is that the message that we want to send to the children? The children of America. The children of Canada, for all that matters. All the children around the world who tune in to watch Monday Night Raw. Is that the type of product that you want to display on your television network? Me, as a concerned citizen, no, that's not the type of product that I want to see on my television screen. But I know that all y'all care about is the ratings. And as there's half-naked women, as long as there's blood and guts, as long as there's beers drinking and cussing and swearing, and people telling other people to perform fellatio, sexual acts on them, as long as you're getting a boost in ratings, why, USA Network, you don't care. You don't care whatsoever. So I tell you what, since y'all don't want to remove this type of content from y'all's television screens and save the poor youth of America from having to see this barbaric content, this horrifying content, I would take it upon myself, along with Mankind and the Hardys, to end the hardcore division here in the World Wrestling Federation. I thought I did by taking out Terry Funk and taking out Cactus Jack and converting Cactus Jack. Why, Mankind wants nothing to do with thumbtacks and boards and barbed wire. So I'm going to take it upon myself to end something that just started in the hardcore division and put an end to all this garbage and save the youth of America. Because as Raven, as y'all's new mentor and leader, I will guide the youth of tomorrow to a better future. Quote the Raven, nevermore. So Raven basically saying that he wants to put an end to this newfound hardcore division. And the he wrote letters to the USA Network, and they basically told him to piss off because it's getting ratings. And Raven said he's going to take it upon himself, along with Mankind and the Hardys, to put an end to it. And whoever's champion, whether it's Big Show or whoever else is the hardcore champion, Raven is going to take it upon himself to make sure the hardcore division and the hardcore championship comes to an end. We're going to move on to the next segment. We go to commercial, and we come back, and we have, as we've seen, they got an 86. Not bad. Rob Van Dam with a 90. Golly, he's super fucking over. He's super, super, super over in Tri-State. Dean Malenko debuted on Shotgun Saturday night. As we've seen, Dean Malenko made his big debut. I talked about Dean Malenko coming and everything, and about that had great wrestling and good heat. Dean Malenko defeats Rob Van Dam in 12:45 by pinfall. Dean Malenko picking up the win. As we know, it was supposed to be Eddie Guerrero and Rob Van Dam for the number one contendership. Dean Malenko beating Rob Van Dam. Does this make Dean Malenko the number one contender? I mean, this is the first match Dean Malenko has, and he beats Rob Van Dam. The match got an 86. Not bad, guys, whatsoever. Not bad at all. We are going to move on to the next segment. And it is the contract signing between Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Both men get in the ring. Both men pretty much says, we're going to try to save some time here. We're not going to go into great detail and promos. But both men pretty much saying that they cannot wait to get their hands on each other. Triple H, like before in his previous things, he says that his time is now. That no more waiting. No more sitting in the shadows. No more being in Shawn Michaels' shadows. He is tired of people comparing him to Shawn Michaels, saying that he is Shawn Michaels' protege. He is not Shawn Michaels' protege at all. Triple H is his own man. And Triple H is going to prove that he is better than Shawn Michaels when he ends Shawn Michaels' career at Fully Loaded. He will do anything in his power to make sure that Shawn Michaels is not going to walk out of that pay-per-view. Shawn Michaels basically says that Triple H is a coward for attacking him. And that if they had problems, he could have came and talked to Shawn, but he had to be a coward and attack Shawn. And Shawn's not going to just let that slide easily. Shawn's going to stand up for himself and be a man and fight a bully like Triple H, somebody who's a coward and just attacks Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels basically says that he thought he was his friend, but Triple H comes back and says that Triple H basically had to take care of Shawn Michaels and tote him around while Shawn Michaels was on all these drugs. Shawn Michaels had some time off to heal. He come back. Shawn Michaels is pretty much better than ever. At the start of the save, we're gonna break the fourth wall here. At the start of the save, he failed a drug test for hardcore drugs, and I sent him to rehab, and he came back, and we said that he hurt himself and everything like that, but he came back, and now hopefully he is drug free. He has not failed a drug test yet, while other people have, but he is back and he's ready. That he's found himself. He's found God, and Shawn Michaels is looking to basically clear his name, and he's going to beat Triple H at the Fully Loaded pay-per-view. Vince McMahon makes sure that both men sign the contract. Both men stare each other down. Like typical, we think that these two men are going to lay into each other, but they don't. They don't. They just stand at the desk. They both stand up and they look at each other. Vince McMahon says, that's it. At the Fully Loaded pay-per-view, we will see these two men go at it. Must be a winner. Neither man held liable for the injuries that occurred to either man. And Vince McMahon's pretty much worried that one of these men are going to go to the hospital. They don't touch each other. They look at each other and stare each other down. You can see the hatred in their eyes, but they do not touch each other. Triple H leaves the ring after staring Shawn Michaels down, and he walks with his back all the way to the entrance ramp, looking into the ring at Shawn Michaels, as Shawn Michaels stands in the ring. We move on to the next segment, which is the co-main event. In an exceptional match, Bret Hart and Davey Boy Smith defeat Owen Hart and Kurt Angle when Bret Hart pinned Owen Hart by, it was supposed to be a handful of tights, but not a foreign object. He basically cheats without using a weapon to beat Owen. He grabs the ropes and holds Owen down. Kurt Angle with a 94. Owen with a 92, Davey Boy with a 92, and Bret with a 97. The Broken Heart storyline lost heat. The match got an 88. I mean, it could have did better, but Kurt Angle benefited from having a thing. After the match, Owen looks mad, and Kurt's trying to calm him down, and Owen's just not hearing it. And Kurt's trying to calm him down, like, just calm down, it'll be okay. And Owen's just not having it. Owen's tired of losing, ladies and gentlemen. He's pretty much to the breaking point here, that he cannot beat Bret, that he just keeps losing in these big matches, and it's starting to take a toll on Owen Hart. We move on to our next segment, which is a promo between The Rock and Stephanie. Stephanie basically wishes Rock luck. Rock tells him, thank you. Stephanie's just like, well, last week I tried to kiss you, and you kind of moved, and I kissed you on the cheek, and The Rock was just like, well, I couldn't take my eye off my opponent and everything like that. You know, I just wanted to make sure. And Stephanie's like, okay, well, I did you a favor. You know, I risked our relationship to get you this match. Don't let me down. And everything like that. And Rock's like, oh, trust me, once I go on and beat this jabroni ass, candy ass jabroni Chris Jericho, The Rock's going to go on and main event the Fully Loaded pay-per-view, and he's going to win the World Wrestling Federation Championship and bring it home to you, pretty much, like, you know. And Stephanie, like, smiles, and she gives The Rock a hug. And she kind of leans in for a kiss, and The Rock kind of, you know, like he kind of gets out of the way again, you know, like he's acting clueless, like he doesn't realize that Stephanie wants a kiss, but The Rock doesn't kiss her. And, you know, like when she hugs him, he kind of like gives her a side hug, like a friend hug, you know. not like full affection. And Stephanie like pulls him and tries to kiss him, and The Rock's kind of like, you know. He's like, she asks him like, she looks at him and he's just like, I gotta keep my mind, you know, I gotta keep my mind on the match and everything like that. And Stephanie's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I understand. The Rock then walks off. The segment got a 100. The Three's Company storyline advances. The Rock looked good, did good, and he benefited having the Candy Ass Jabroni catchphrase. We are moving on to our main event. Chris Jericho comes out. The Rock comes out. These two men are battling it out. I'm sorry. The Rock comes out first, and then Chris Jericho. And as Chris Jericho comes out, we see Stone Cold Steve Austin walking through the crowd. The crowd's going crazy. And the fans are going crazy, and Stone Cold's in the crowd. Security then comes up, and they're just like, you need to leave. And Stone Cold's just like, no, I bought a ticket. And Stone Cold Steve Austin has a front row ticket. Chris Jericho's head is not in this match whatsoever. They're going, but the Chris Jericho is getting the better of the Rock. And vice versa, though sometimes the Rock is getting the better of Chris Jericho. This match goes back and forth for some time, but in an exceptional match, The Rock defeats Chris Jericho in 13-12 by pinfall with a rock bottom following interference from Steve Austin. Both of these men did better. Let's find out why this match. I don't know. Probably the... yeah, I figured it was losing heat because most of their stuff has been over a 90. But basically, Chris Jericho went for the lion salt. He hit The Rock, and he was going to go put the walls of Jericho on The Rock. And Steve Austin comes in, ref bump or something. And Steve Austin comes in and hits Jericho with a stunner. And Rock... Rock kind of looks, and he hits The Rock with a stunner, and Steve Austin puts The Rock over Jericho. Shoots the birds. Security then comes down, along with police, and Steve Austin jumps back over the barricade. He shoots the bird, and he leaves. And the winner of the match is The Rock. But both men are passed out in the ring after the stunner. And Vince McMahon comes out along with Shane McMahon, and they look pissed. They are mad. Steve Austin is flipping them off. He's hightailing it. They're chasing Steve Austin out of the arena. And Steve Austin jumps in his truck, and he rolls down the window, and he shoots the bird as he leaves. There's going to be some consequences. There's going to be hell to pay for Stone Cold Steve Austin for sure. We're probably going to get some answers on Shotgun Saturday Night. This segment got a 100. We're going to go ahead and finish the show. 93, not bad. Not bad. That definitely hurt us. The Jerry Jarrett angle definitely hurt us. Main event could have did better, in my opinion. I believe that could have at least did a 90, but... beggars can't be choosers. We got a 93. I'm happy with a 93. We're going to go ahead and finish the show. Let's see how... It is Monday. Let's see how WCW Nitro has done. We have some decisions. I pray to God that nobody's failed a drug test again. I swear to Christ, if somebody failed a drug test again, I'm going to just lose. I'm going to snap. Anyway, they did an 83. Their main event got a 90. Their main event did better than ours. Lex Luger and Randy Savage defeat Jim Duggan. Which they got a 90. I don't know how they pulled off a 90 with that, but I guess they did. Not bad. Scott Hall versus Chono. Scott Hall with a 90. Not bad. Not bad at all. A lot of promos, but not bad at all. not a bad little show for Monday Nitro. But, guys, this is your boy Dylan the Villain. And like always, if you are new to the channel and you want to subscribe to the channel, it helps us out a lot. We are very close to 700 subscribers, guys. Which I thank everybody who subscribes and watches the videos. You know, it helps out the channel a lot. Leaving a like and a comment down below also helps us out. It also, leaving a like puts eyes on people who have not seen this or the content. It pulls up when you search TW 2020. It will pull up one of my videos and get some new fans on this and everything like that. And it helps out the channel a ton. Leaving a like on the video or a comment. If you are new to the channel and want to subscribe, the subscribe icon will be over the Monday Night Raw logo. And if you like this episode and want to go back and catch up on previous episodes and check out last Monday Night Raw on that huge main event between Jericho and Austin and the steel cage match and see what happened there, I'm pretty sure y'all figured out who won. But if y'all want to see how they won, click on this and you can click on the playlist and watch previous episodes. My name is Dylan the Villain, guys. And like I always say, if you can't play with each other, do what I'm doing right now and play with yourself. Later, guys.